What's good? What's up? What's going on, y'all? Trying to enjoy these last couple of days of beautiful weather. Think we got a problem till about Friday or Saturday here. I think the high of Friday is gonna be 55. Damn, I mean Saturday 55. Dang it. So anyway, try to get out in it and enjoy it while it lasts before the cold front comes. So, let me take the gum out so y'all can understand. Let me get right down to it. Come on in, everybody. Come on in, share the live. I have 3 topics, really 2 topics, and one get well wish. I want to send a get well wish, get well soon wish out to Thaddeus Matthews, or we know him as the cussing pastor. He was been under the weather in the last few days, and he was on his live today. He and his wife and one of his daughters to let us know how he's doing. He's still, pushing hard to try to get information out there. And whether you agree or disagree, you cannot deny that if it were not for him in the city of Memphis, a lot of information, we would not get it. Those who live in the city, even before I moved here to Dallas, Dallas was probably the main one giving out the true information about those dirty, crooked politicians and preachers. And with the latest incident that has occurred in Memphis, I guess one that stuck out the most was the young man who killed his girlfriend and allegedly, reportedly, threw his baby in the Mississippi River. He's gotten the only one who's gotten interviews from one of the girlfriends and the mother of the deceased, the young woman Danielle. So he's been putting in that work for over 40 years as a person in radio, person in television, just a man about town getting the word out, and he's appreciated in a lot of circles, and in a lot of circles who were probably celebrating him not feeling well, having possible health issues. And so we're glad to see that he's pulling through. We're glad that he put out that live today on his Facebook page. And they let us know that he will be back, probably late next week or whenever. But I'm suggesting, Thaddeus, take your time, man. Cussing pastor, take your time, bro. It'll be there when you get back. Take care of your health. And, those who care about the community, those who really try to do the work, it's interesting how that works. The folks who really try to get the word out and get the work done are the ones who seem to suffer through their health or their mental health, the physical health, the mental health, emotional health, or the economic health. But the people who run around here claiming to be civil rights activists and all of this, and be all on CNN and all on BET, they live beautiful lives. So much so that they can all take vacation trips in the Caribbean and talk about whatever little half-ass activism they were paid to do by white entities. See, the real people don't get the support and the love and the outpouring of caring the way the black community should do. We find everything about them that we don't like. Number 2, whatever they say that we don't agree with, we hold it to them. Just really charge it to them. And that's been historical in our community. We already know the other community, especially if you're speaking about the truth about what they're doing, they already don't like it. And we know the crooked black politicians and the politicians of all races hate it when there's a voice out there pointing out the crookedness in their administration or in the way they move in politics. They hate it. But when people stand up and stand out really from the community, they're not being sponsored by a white corporation. They're not being given money so they can fly on private jets. The way some of these so-called activists that y'all like Al Sharptons, the Tamika Mallory's, and all these people, They living in 5-star hotels, riding in limousines. Malcolm X never lived in a 5-star hotel. Dr. King never lived in a 5-star hotel or ridden in limousines. And these people on white corporate owners' private jets going to place to protest. Who does that? So we're going to have to learn in the black community who really cares about us. Who really is saying the real stuff. Because if you're speaking the truth, you're not going to be sitting all on CNN talking about white folks on their platform. That's not going to happen. If you're speaking the truth to the point where it even makes black folks nervous. Those are the people that they don't invite on the radio stations, hip hop, R&B, soul, gospel. They don't invite those kinds of blacks. Just like they don't invite those kinds of black women to the Essence Festival either. So Thaddeus is almost like dying breed of black folks. Shout out to him and Reverend Bernard, Jennings Bernard, and those others who are now up in age. Thaddeus is about to be 65 years old, April 1st. So we're trying to get to that party too. So we got all these folks. Hell, I made it to my 50s. But I'm not part of anybody's special group, and Thaddeus is not part of anybody's special groups. So he's been putting the work in. And no, he's not everybody's cup of tea. No, he isn't. Just like you're not everybody's cup of tea either. No, he doesn't articulate in the way that you'd rather hear it. He tells it the way it is. He's always done that. No, he's not everybody's friend, nor you are everybody's friend either. So y'all understand that? So don't make him an anomaly. His personality is just like a lot of people's personality. Those, they mean well and they say what they mean. And we don't like to hear the truth. Without the sugar, well, you're up Schitt's Creek when it comes to this guy. So we have to protect people like that. And again, look at the history of people who's always tried to stand up for black folks. Just look at the history. They're the ones who die alone, or they die with bad health, or they die poor, because it's like people, we get mad. We want them to stop talking. We want them to shut up. And so I was so happy to see that he was pulling through and doing well, surrounded by his wife and one of his daughters. And so he's got a lot of support and all that. And he deserves it, because you're from Memphis. You got a lot of folks there that they got radio shows, they have TV shows, but they don't do it the way he does it. And I'm just ending on that, because they understand. A lot of them work for these big corporate companies and they're protected. They don't want to step outside that comfort. We need more Thaddeus Matthews, but not at 65-year-old Thaddeus Matthews. We need more 25, more 35, more 40-year-old Thaddeus Matthews, in men and women. But they won't do it because, see, we all know there's no money in that. Black people are not going to support you unless you tell them a sweet lie, and that has to change. So shout out Thaddeus, shout out Cousin Pastor. And I'm glad that he was finally able to get his quote unquote his shine, his national world shine, because he had been hated on and people have been praying that he never got bigger than his local radio stations there in Memphis, but he did. Social media made it possible for him to reach more than just a lot of those haters in Memphis. So he has a global fan base now, and he has his brand, Cousin Pastor. I'm glad. I was happy there. I said, okay, good. Because all those folks that work for iHeart and work for Infinity and, work for Revolt, all those people that got those that covering from the corporate, they don't think nobody is supposed to get liked or heard by anybody else unless they work for these people. But Thaddeus has always been able to carve out his own, always. Even when he's been fired, he still rise up just like the phoenix out of the ash. He always came out. When the internet wasn't even popular in 2004 and 5, he lost the station, lost the show. He went straight to the internet and gathered a following on something that people aren't even really going into. That was the internet. So unless that's a special kind of dude. So anyway, get well soon, Cousin Pastor Thaddeus Matthews. It's from the mayor of North Memphis, Rico. He already know who I am, so we still keep in touch. But then let me go to my second topic. I know that I'm kind of late at this. Other people have been talking about it, but I want to give my 2 cents on the Whoopi Goldberg situation. Isn't it interesting? These black celebrities, and we're going to have to learn to stop, looking at these black celebrities, or celebrities, period, but I'm talking to black people. Stop looking at these celebrities as real people, because in order for you to become part of Hollywood, you have to sign on a dotted line. That is even your voice. A lot of people, even their morality and even their sexuality. I mean, y'all have heard the stories. I'm not the only one who checked out the YouTube channels and read the stories about how they got to get down or to be put down in Hollywood and what script they have to do. Y'all see what they've done to people like Monique most recently, and what they do to anybody else who who steps off the script. While Whoopi Goldberg was trying to tell Monique, well, I'm gonna school you on how it's supposed to be done, Monique, if you're gonna make it in Hollywood. And Whoopi Goldberg, aka Karen Johnson, went so far as to give herself a Jewish stage name, Goldberg. That still didn't protect her. Because one thing about that group of people, what you've heard about them historically is true. What Dr. Khalid Muhammad said about them, what Minister Farrakhan said about them, what all the African Center scholars said about them, it is true. They're thieves and liars, manipulators, and they're bullies. That's what they are. And they all know that you can't say anything about them, but let me tell you something about the Jewish community. All this pornography that we enjoy or that we see, they own it. They push it. This rap music that y'all enjoy, they own the record labels and the record companies. They're the executives. These little white Jewish dudes. All these movies out here that get put out that we think is smut, that was terrible and all that, well, they run the movie houses and the banking system. It is true. And so when Whoopi Goldberg and her naivete, or she was just having a speaking moment, she was trying to, have that conversation about Jews. The same with Nick Cannon. He told the truth. Nick Cannon shut down. Now he's a shell of a man. He's trying to find his manhood through his penis by creating all these bastard out of wedlock kids instead of just being a man. He's done. He's done for. But the question is, was he ever a man in the first place? For someone to be able to take you down like that, well, you sign those contracts in Hollywood or in the music business, you got to close your mouth. You're not black anymore. So now you have Whoopi. You do everything when you're trying to fit in that system. You make sure, even when you date, a lot of them make sure they date and they don't have children that look like them. Make sure your children are non-black, you date non-black, and make sure you give birth to non-black. And Whoopi did that. The only black person in Whoopi Goldberg house is her. All her children mixed and the grandchildren, I think they mixed too, so she made sure that black bloodline was cut off. So having said that, Whoopi said the Holocaust wasn't about race, it was white folks attacking white folks. Woo-wee. And it was about man's mistreatment or inhumanity to man. That wasn't good enough. You see, Jews have a particular way in which they painted themselves. They have a particular way in which they painted themselves, and they need you to follow the way in which they painted themselves. Now, Jewish people also use the N-word. They put movies out there. They use the N-word. They put music out there. They use the N-word. They say whatever they want to say and do to black folks all day long. But can't no group say nothing, even if it's factual or jokes about that community. And then when did Jew become a race? I thought Judaism was a religion. But we've been convinced, all of us with PhDs, master's degrees, and all the 12 years of high school still refer to religion as a race. Give y'all a minute. Then a religion is a race now. And then, if you say anything against the script that they put out there for all these years, they say, and there's no color in that. So, and then black folks, you anti-Semitic. No, repeating what they say. I'm black, I can't be anti-Semitic. And they always get to push how much they're victims and they're suffering, but some of the black people talk about the horrors of the African Ma'at. Or hold on a minute, we could cross here, y'all. Oh, wait a minute, baby. Oh. Okay, and so, as soon as we start talking about the actual Holocaust, the African Holocaust, Jewish people and everybody, including blacks, tell us, man, that's in the past, let that go. We can move forward now, but they get to always talk about being Jewish. and how Hitler did this to us and our people. America had nothing to do with that, but somehow America's still paying billions of dollars to Israel. No one's ever able to ask that question. Why is American citizens, especially the most nominalized, the most disparaged, the most attacked group in America called black folks, why are my tax dollars going to Israel? When they over in Israel disrespect the actual original Jews, which are the Ethiopians. They forced the Ethiopian women to get sterilized in order for them to be able to come into the country from Africa. Y'all do your research. I'm not talking about it. I'm spitting facts. And you go watch those PBS documentaries and go on YouTube. You'll see those Jews in Israel literally beating up black women and black men, Ethiopian Africans, the Africans, beating them with rocks and sticks. And the police, the Israel police, army and police officers, the army and the police officers are attacking them. But they're the ones who are, I'm telling y'all, don't fall for that. So Whoopi, she didn't say anything out of line. She spoke the truth. But there's something about that whole thing. So Whoopi's been put on suspension. Well, let's see. Whoopi has been put on a 2-week suspension. That even shocked her. She's like, damn, I did everything y'all have ever asked of me. Even changed my name. Even to something that sounds similar to y'all. Let me see what y'all got going on right here. What'd you say, Mary Max? You notice no blacks famous came out to say they stand with Whoopi. Ain't that interesting? You're right. No famous black persons come out and stand with Whoopi. I'm telling you, because all of them are under contract just like Whoopi. And so, what was I about to say? One thing that y'all are missing about this whole thing, and black women, y'all pay attention. Kim Godwin, I thought it was a Jewish white woman that suspended Whoopi and put out that statement. What she said was insensitive. We stand with our Jewish community. We stand with our Jewish friends and blah, 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 blah. It's a black woman. Did y'all know that? The president of ABC Entertainment is another black woman. She, a black woman, y'all talking about protect black women and sisters need to be together. Well, that sister, she must be married to a Jewish white man, Kim Godwin. She suspended Whoopi, and Whoopi is upset. Can't make this up. Now let's go back to Roseanne Barr, a Jewish white woman, made a comment about Valerie Jarrett, who used to work for the Obama administration, said she's like a cross between Planet Apes and these two people had a baby or something. And the black woman, Chelsea something, fired Roseanne. Isn't it funny how they get black women to do that dirt for them? I guess they the new foot soldiers. And no one black, white, or whatever, no one black has mentioned that this is a black woman that set Whoopi Goldberg down, and we all agree in social media that Whoopi said nothing wrong. And the point of all this is, that is a protected class of people. You can't even tell the truth about them. They want to be the ones. And now they got some papers and stuff written about, talking about, well, we are descendants of Ethiopian and African, but they don't ever push the black side of them. Did y'all hear me? Now they got research, shout out to the Black Authority, shout out to Professor Black Thought. They put the research up there. Now they're talking about they got some black in them. They're descendants of Africa, northern or southern Africa and Ethiopia and all that. But it's funny how they try to bring that out now when Whoopi told the truth, because it was. When y'all look at those films, you don't see nobody black and none of that footage that they have from the so-called 1940s. None whatsoever. You don't see no footage of nobody black or African in those so-called concentration camps. And like Whoopi said, it was a crime against whites against whites. And they don't want you to do that because they get to live under the cover of being black. But they're the main ones who persecute black. Y'all didn't hear me. Y'all keep fooling with these people. Hold on a second, let this truck go by. And they always want to talk about their Holocaust, but it's interesting how we never talk about King Leopold. He slaughtered millions of Africans during the 1800s or the early 1900s when they were over there running rampant over in African countries. Nobody ever mentions King Leopold, but they always want to mention Hitler all day long. Talking about 6 million, tried 60 million under King Leopold and others. So y'all, get out of here with that. But they've been able to monetize their hurt, their Holocaust. We have not been able to monetize ours. No, we've allowed people to convince us that our Holocaust, the African, what they refer to as the Great Ma'at, does not matter anymore. That's in the past. I guess even Silly Pierre said, he made some sense on Comedy Hype. He said, well, black people, you don't own anything. We got to own our own voice. We can say we want to say, but as long as you're working for them, well, they control your voice. Now, that's one of the few things that I agree with that ignorant Pierre. That half-funding comic Pierre. He said that is the truth. You got enough sense to say that? If we don't own our own voice, own our own platform, and really think black, well, everybody else will be able to shut us down and fire us and put grown-ass people on suspension on a talk show that's supposed to be about sharing opinions. It's the weirdest thing. Whew, Lord, give me strength. But we're going to get there one day. We're still playing this multicultural game and we're not winning. And we played that game before reparations. You can't play multicultural diversity games without reparations, without taking care of the black home first. And that's why we keep losing. And you can marry out, you can have as many interracial, biracial families all you want to. It's still not going to make you. Let me ask you this question. What do they call a black man with a PhD in America? Nigga. And you still going to be that. So just cut it out. Won't you be who you are? Marry your own. Be with your own. And please spare me. Well, people can't help who they fall in love with. Well, have y'all known any Jews fall in love with Palestinians yet? You know any Jews to date and marry and reproduce children with Ethiopian Africans yet? I ain't talking about rape and a bastard baby is born out of rape. I'm talking about dating, proposing to, and marrying and creating a family with. When y'all start seeing that happening, then we can talk about you can't help who you fall in love with. Watch how Jews move. So, Whoopi's only fault is, she told the truth. She said that white folks killing white folks. They don't want you to know them that they white because Jews have always been able to, according to more research, shout out to Professor Black Thought, been able to finagle their way into that. They might have had a tan, but they're not black. Nobody wants to be black. Hell, not even black folks who look like me don't want to be black. They blonde their hair, put hazel contacts in their eyes, straighten their hair, do everything else. With a blonde weave, do everything to keep them looking black and sounding black. So therefore, if they don't want to be black, so they make sure they have children to make sure the children don't look black. Shout out to Serena Williams, Janet Jackson, and others. Taye Diggs and all these other folks. They make their living out black folks, but go home to white every day. Yeah, I said it. So, y'all get the point? Yeah, Whoopi is just a long line of black celebrities, black famous people. They know what they have to do to get on. And then some of them try to snap out of the matrix or cause a glitch in the matrix and they get set right back down or suspended or just fired all the way. Then they be begging to get back on. Whoopi Goldberg apologized and they still told her, no, that ain't good enough. You take your ass home. We want to set an example. Go back to the plantation. Whenever you try to escape, they would bring you back. You can even, master, please, I ain't gonna do it no more. All right, you can apologize, but we're still gonna whip your ass in front of everybody. We're still gonna tie legs each end of a horse and rip you apart in front of everybody. That's to let everybody else know behind you that that's how you're gonna get punished. That's not how we do it, and you're gonna learn today, and everybody else gonna learn today from your example. So, let me get to my final topic here. So if everybody read the topic yet, or the post, or the story where Joe Biden is proposing to, I don't know if he's done it yet, or if it's actually going to happen. Well, he's proposed $30 million under the guise of racial equity. Whew, I saw it last night like everybody else and just shocked. And people been talking about it. Some places been talking about it. I guess it'll get around more this week and possibly more this weekend. And shout out to Kevin Williamson, my man out of Memphis, who sent me the story early this morning. I think he sent it late last night, early this morning, because I know I read it. Shout out to my man Kevin Williamson, who sent me that article. And he's like, what the F? And I read it, I'm like, wow. And so, Biden is proposing that $30 million, I guess, go to nonprofits or whatever the effort to buy needles and crack pipes for those who are, I guess, mainly crack pipes, for those who are smoking crack and meth and all this stuff. And so what they want nonprofits and other people to do with this money is to make a way for them to smoke crack and do meth safely without, passing along diseases and all that stuff. There's $30 million. To all my Biden supporters, I want y'all to hear this now. But first, before I get on y'all ass, let me say something else. I've been a master level social worker for 25 years, and I've worked in the field good 25 years, right? And before this concept, what he's doing is not really something new. It's not a foreign concept, because nonprofits that deal with drug addicts, they've had programs where they do what's called needle sharing. They would go out to the places where drug addicts hung out at and try to give them clean needles so they wouldn't, get spread HIV and other diseases. Because, when they're on heroin, mainly for heroin users, when they tend to, when they popping their veins with the needle, the blood splatters out, and they use the same needle without sanitizing. They just go right on in. Therefore, they spread HIV that way and hepatitis, C or whatever. Just pick an alphabet. And so they've been doing this, but I never heard of them receiving any federal funding. They got a lot of donations and state funding. I know in Memphis they had an organization in Memphis called Friends for Life. I think they had a program like that. Shout out to Ernest Donaldson. And here in Dallas, they have a substance abuse place called APA, Association of Addicted People, or something like that. AAP. Let's see, APAA. Check it out. I think they had something like that. And other nonprofits I'm not familiar with, but that has been a thing for years to do kind of needle sharing. But I never heard of them trying to, adding crack pipes. And I'm like, who the hell smoked crack in 2022? Hey, Jim Crow Joe, you already spent millions of dollars to handle crack when it was black folks doing it. You sent them to jail, and you put them all on probation and demonized them in the media. And you broke up family with the crack. And all of that with your Jim Crow Joe 94 crime bill that you and Bill Clinton put together. You put it out there, Bill Clinton signed it. I know how it worked. You said, I don't care how they got in the situation they got in. They can get help when they in prison. Remember Jim Crow Joe when you said that? Then we can't have these super predators walking down the street attacking my mother on the street. First of all, wasn't nobody black living where your mother lived at, Jim Crow Joe. But, and so, $30 million, hon. This is your way of giving back to, I guess, inner city or black folks. Then you added the LGBT. And y'all don't get enough of adding the gays to anything we do. Because all they do is siphon the money and move on. And all you black folks, like blacks and poor whites and LGBT. LGBT is a separate group from black folks. Don't lump us into that. Our issues are separate from every group y'all have allowed CNN and MSNBC to lump us. We are a significant and a special, unique group in this country because our experience is unique and special. Black folks, not minority, not people of color. Black people, to all you educated smart asses out there. People of color, women of color, it's just so ignorant. Man, every time I'm telling you, I get a gray hair every time I hear a Negro. Now, it's not the hood blacks that talk like this. It's all the college educated, the college graduate, the black Greek letter affiliated blacks who say stupid shit like that. People of color, minority communities. I expect other people to do that because when you do that, it's like you spread it out, you thin it out. But when you're very specific, see, now you're talking. You don't get hidden in the crowd. We say, minorities and people of color. So you mean Asians, Arabs, immigrants, and everybody else? Oh yeah, we'll get the black folks too. No, black people. That's why we keep losing, because we act like we're scared to say black people. And the only time black women say, black women, when they're trying to be smart ass, they think something's been done to them. But when it comes down to money, women of color, it's women of color. All that shit gets on my fucking nerves. Every time I hear a Negro say people of color, I just write you off. Because I understand where you're going. I understand where you're coming from. And you hear these smart blacks, minority communities. Oh my God. And guess what? I have a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, an associate's, and a bachelor's degree. And a license in my profession in 2 states. So it's not me, some ghetto dude who barely has a GED, hating no educated folks. One would consider me highly educated, professionally well in tune with what's going on. So I can look around, I guess, to my peer group and see there's a problem. Something wrong with Negroes. We shoot our own self in the foot. That we don't understand the importance of being black. And we think that's gonna get us further in this country. No, it's not. So let me take these off. The sun is gone. Or leaving. So we got out, he's put that little money out there. And so I was talking to my girl Mary Max about this. I talked to a couple of folks about this. She said, well, hell, the reason he put crack in there because his son Hunter smokes crack. Oh, so it's not about black folks. Again, it's about trying to get the 7 white folks to smoke crack. Because usually, when I moved here, I learned that black folks are smoking meth too. So, but crack? I said, who the hell? And where are they making crack at? Because these folks doing pills and heroin and meth. But let you know, he's not going to stop being a racist old fart ever. I think that was just a personal dig at black folks, because he understood that crack was put in the black neighborhoods all together. He understood. So he going to say, well, you're helping, the underserved communities, blacks and LGBT and Native Americans. Well, Jews don't smoke crack? I'm telling y'all swear y'all know, but you don't know, because you didn't listen to our scholars. Dr. John Henry Clark tried to tell you, Dr. Ben, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Claude Anderson still with us trying to tell you, but we won't listen because they too black. So anyway, y'all think y'all get blackness when y'all hear Michelle and Barack Obama talk. Stop it. There ain't no blackness coming from them at all. So multiculturalism and feminism is all you get from those cats, from those two. But anyway, and so it's it's amazing. Now still, I'm going to wait on you Biden supporters. I'm waiting on what you have to say, because y'all know we was going to get out and jump on his ass. But all you Biden supporters that want to call Trump the racist, it's just amazing. It's amazing. And again, these were college-educated blacks, Greek-affiliated blacks. The sorority sisters got out and did their sorority sister strut for that non-black vice president female. And y'all broke up your families and attacked other black people because they didn't want to vote for Jim Crow Joe, because we had enough intelligence to know that he has a history like all the other white men in the White House or in D.C. racist attitudes. But y'all attacked us. And I'm going to say us, because I didn't vote for Joe Biden, and I didn't support Kamala Harris. I didn't. No, I didn't. And so, and I'm part of the 17%. Yeah, I said it. I'm part of the 17% who was smart enough to jump off the Democratic plantation. I had jumped off years ago. And I'm an independent, by the way. Independent, we're the ones that say, wait, which candidate, be it Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent, or whatever, has my best interest at heart, or share my political views at this juncture. Because we get so caught up in personality. And as a heterosexual, straight, masculine man, Joe Biden had nothing for me. Now, if I were a gay man, if I were a black woman with bastard kids out of wedlock, or if I were a lesbian black chick with a master's degree, or a feminist, or whatever you want to call it, Joe Biden is the man. Obama is the man. But to compare like Trump is worse than Biden, yeah, y'all was still on that Obama Kool-Aid. Anytime a candidate tells you, if you don't know to vote for me, you ain't black, and you people still voted for him, y'all think that 17% of black men and black women, but y'all knew that, right? 17% wasn't just black men who voted for Trump. It was also 7%, 8%, I'm talking about 7.5 or 8% of black women who also voted for Trump. But Maxine Waters and others came out and attacked black men. And I hope that 17% turns into a 34%, and maybe a 44 or 54% in 2024. Well, no, in 2022. The midterm elections, I hope it jumps to 44%. Black men need to get off that damn Democratic plantation. You know, because black women and women, period, and gays and immigrants and all those folks, it benefits them. But I find it very interesting. I'm going to keep listening to see if any Biden supporters are going to come out and call it for what it is, since you haven't said anything in 1 year. Now, in the first 2 weeks, Joe Biden gave the immigrants all the money. LGBT got executive orders. White women. Who else? Asians got an anti-Asian hate crime bill because one white dude killed him in a fucking massage parlor. And black folks been here 400 years and getting our ass beat, buried, bombed, hanged, lynched, burnt alive, shot in the face, run over. And still don't have an anti-African American hate crime bill. And y'all think that's okay because you got a Democrat in, as long as it wasn't Trump? And I'm supposed to look at you like you got good sense? It's not going to happen. No, you're not going to compare. Well, he's racist. Trump is racist. You got to be out your damn mind. Who gives a fuck if he's racist or not? Just like y'all don't give a fuck if what Joe Biden says to you. This man did all of this to add insult to injury. All these black chicks that got out and cussed their sons out on social media and marched and convinced every simp man in their family to vote for this racist black man hating son of a bitch. He didn't put no black women, his administration didn't hire no black women in any important office when he got elected. And I said, look at, no sister had nothing to say about it. He hired white women and dudes in wigs, or trans dudes, and all the important, and gay white men in all of the important White House positions. And the black women that's hired there, they were like spokespersons or assistants to somebody. Not Secretary of Education, not Secretary of Transportation, not Speaker, not what's that, Jen Psaki, not her position. Jen Psaki, the White House spokesperson, they didn't get none of those positions. And black women was breaking up their own family. Disrespecting black men, and any sister that dared to say, no, I ain't vote for him. Then they got strippers on the pole. They tell, get your booty to the pole, all kinds of weirdo shit. And now their sister got a real presidential position once his administration got in there. Ain't got nothing to say. So, this is what your president, because you always say, my president, that's what you told everybody was black that you thought supported Trump. That's your president. Well, let me tell you about your fucking president. Instead of, he gonna give you $30 million to send crack pipes to your neighborhood, but he proposed $450,000 for all illegal immigrants that came to America. Y'all think that's all right? But see, everybody that's listening to me, you're gonna get an attitude of something I said. I'm just sharing facts. You know, and it's not a debate with me about, because those who vote for Trump didn't fall in love with his personality. We were looking at the politics. And y'all motherfuckers, y'all more worried about January 6th, which was white folks attacking the White House. What's that got to do with Negroes in the neighborhood? Nothing. What's that got to do with anything? Hell, if we had any guts, we'll storm some of these mayor's offices or governor's mansions, but we ain't got no guts. One thing about white folks, they understand what freedom is. You know, black colleges are underfunded and all this shit because you got these black college presidents scared to stand up. Not all, but they're coming around, scared to say what it means the dollars y'all owe us. State of Tennessee, state of Texas, the state of whatever. State of Louisiana, where the money at? Texas Southern getting, let me see, Texas Southern, Prairie View, Tennessee State, they getting there. But these other HBCUs still dragging their feet, hoping somebody's gonna pat them on the back or hand them a crumb. So, what else about this weird ass this article? $30 million for crack pipes and drug kits. But everybody else gets tangibles directly to their group. And we went around here talking about what people of color, minority groups. I'm sick of it. And again, it's not a debate for me. So if I see you in public, we ain't talking about this shit. Whatever I say on Facebook stays on Facebook. But if you have to engage me, hit my Cash App. $200 per question. $75 for every follow-up. Because I don't have a debate about it. Because I ain't hear nobody else talk about this shit who voted for Biden and Harris, who clowned and broke up your families, wrote off friends because they wouldn't vote for that racist old shaking bastard. But you want to do it. Well, he better than Trump. No, he is not. Then y'all call Trump a dictator. You fool. We got the dictator here. You the one who had to leave your job if you didn't want to get the shot. Or you the one who was forced to keep your job to get that poison you don't know shit about. Under the Biden administration. And police still shooting black dudes. And he ain't said nothing about that. Shout out, rest in peace, Amir Locke. So, what I'm saying, y'all say y'all can this shit. But anyway, it's your man Rico, the Opinions. We can cross this street. I don't want to be distracted by it. Hold on, y'all. I'm finna run. Wait a minute. Ooh. Hold on, y'all. Ooh. But anyway, y'all go find the article. It's out there. Just go find the article, read it, and if it's something I missed out, I this one kind of went through. I read the article, but I hit on all the points. The main point was why the $30 million, I didn't come up with $30 million. For that, you can't come up with a reparations package. Or, hell, what about Ice Cube's $500 billion platinum plan? You find money for that? That's your, Joe Biden, that's your way of saying, well, we want to talk about racial equality, racial equity. How about $100 million to try to get people interested in going to treatment instead of helping them to smoke and to shoot up? How about that? Create a nonprofit to do that instead of helping them to be able to find a clean corner to shoot up a needle and smoke a clean crack pipe. And again, who the fuck smoked crack in 2022? But anyway, I digress. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's a lot of questions we can pose. I just want all the Biden supporters to come out with the question because all of us, we already called haters. So those of us who didn't vote for Biden, we already called the haters. Anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to come back with another live. I got some other stuff I want to talk about. Y'all be cool. We'll talk again in the future. Peace.